everybody. I am here at Madison College with Chef Justin Carlisle, and it is the Madison College Chef Demo Series presented by Vollrath. This is one of a series of 8. We are in the culinary kitchen right now, usually used for teaching, right next to the Truex Culinary Studio. And we're going to talk kind of candidly about kitchen equipment, the life of a chef. This is the behind the scenes thing before the public shows up.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm used to behind the scenes a little bit more.
So for those of you that aren't familiar with Justin Carlisle, he's the owner of 3 restaurants and the recipient of a 4-time nomination by the James Beard Foundation for Best Chef Midwest. So you got some street cred.
I think so. I think we try to make our mark a little bit, you know.
Yeah. So let's get down to, actual cooking kind of acumen. Your cuisine is known for a very honest cuisine, a very homespun sense of flavors.
For sure.
But then monikers like molecular gastronomy or modernist cooking are
for sure.
often
A modern day of what my grandma did, I always say.
Yeah.
Is kind of what we do. But for us, I think we're a little bit up to times, if you'd say, even on our setup of the restaurants. Our restaurants are small, but we're all induction, we're all electric. Mm-hmm. We don't have gas, we don't have hoods. 2 out of the 3 restaurants that we run.
I remember bringing one of your mentors into your restaurant the first year, and Rick Tremato, and he was blown away by 2 things. One of my kids is out there rocking it. And 2, he's not cooking with any flame.
No, none.
How is he turning out? Because I showed him your menu on the phone before we walked in, and he couldn't understand how you were doing that food. This is one of the best chefs of the 20th century.
For sure.
Yeah. So talk about your gadgets.
A wonderful person that taught me a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
But it is, and a lot of it is timing, but it is whether, the Vollrath induction cookers, or we even do ramen. And a lot of people always come to us, do you do ramen on induction? It's like, sure, we have a stock pot burner, the induction burner that does that, and all of it, and it's timing, and obviously setup and organization on top of finding people like Vollrath that make equipment to adapt to us, because for us in the United States, it's actually really hard.
Right.
Obviously, a lot of European and other countries and Asian countries, due to space or old buildings or anything, they have to adapt and they have to use induction and electricity.
Yeah.
Where, in the United States, we're still on the glory that we don't. We can have larger kitchens with gas lines and everything else. We don't have to think about that quite as much. I
always found it odd that, like all the Nouvelle Cuisine guys that a lot of you folks pace yourselves against, and they were like the Beatles and the Stones of the 60s, right?
Sure, yeah.
They've been cooking on induction since before we were born.
Yep, 100%.
And here in the States, it's sort of like,
Yep. Yeah, or the big trend of sous vide or something like that, and it's that's been around like over 100 years.
Yeah.
And other people are just doing it, but I definitely think it's coming up to times, at least in the United States, for sure.
And I know with Vollrath that you're a Wisconsin boy, they're a Wisconsin company, 140 years. It's on the arm, right? Yeah, it's like...
It is.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful to be, and especially coming from Milwaukee, and to be surrounded by companies like Vollrath that are leaders in our industry and come out with products that you don't even realize that they're the ones that produce it until you turn around and look at it.
Yeah.
And they're right out of our city.
It's kind of a cool pride.
It's great.
Yeah. So if you could invent a kitchen gadget, or, what would you... I mean, I know, because I've been a champion of your food since you came to Milwaukee, and that's when we started knowing each other. And you were doing sushi then, and then you did a brandade that blew my mind, and I went to Las Vegas, and I ate, I'm not going to say whose restaurant, Guy Savoy, and I had his brandade, and I was like, Justin's is better.
Right, and the dish we're doing tonight is based off of that brandade.
Seriously? Yeah.
It's almost the same structure that you had based with potatoes.
But when we talk techniques, you're like, okay, I buzz it up, I do this.
Yep.
You're basically, in my cooking acumen, I was like, you're doing mad scientist stuff in the best way.
You have to run, in our environments. You've been to our restaurants. We have small environments, and so we need to use the induction burners, but we'll be able to have it be able to be portable. Mm-hmm. At certain points, yes, we have our base. You've seen it, the base 4-burner induction stove. But we need to be able to move around, because everybody gets roughly 2 feet, 3 feet in the kitchen, and that's really all the space that they have.
It's like a submarine.
It is, 100%. It literally, you go down into the basement. But to be able to take burners and set them out, but then you have hand blenders and bain-maries and storage equipment, and hotel pans that are going in and out of ovens that are perforated or not perforated, and be able to have lids that go over them, and be able to actually have something that can contain and stack.
Yeah.
In every direction, we need those to make the kitchen run fluent. and efficient. You know.
So what are the in the way that you cook at Ardent? What are the 5 pieces of equipment that you use? Like if you'd rather lose an arm than lose that piece of equipment.
Online it's induction burners. We have no heat whatsoever. Thermal circulators. Different sorts of ovens, electric ovens, combi ovens, that kind of stuff that we have. I mean, those are the main ones, but induction and circulators. And then once you start going after that, it's going to be trays, like the quarter sheet pans and the half sheet pans. Because even when we set up for service, every station and every individual has to set up, their dishes that they're assigned to off of their station that evening. But they have to be able to be organized and run it fluently because we only have so much space and we're doing, we look at us and a lot of us kind of have a different thought process of how the restaurant works. It's, you only do 26 people or 36 people a night. You only do one menu, but it's 15 to 17 items per person that walks in. So at the end of the day, we're doing 400, 500, 700 plates, with 4 individuals. So we need all of these contraptions and capabilities to be able to do it efficiently. And
no pressure for it to be impeccable.
Well, no, and it's open kitchen, so everybody looks at you. It's not like I can hide behind a wall. We physically serve everybody.
You put that window in. This is your own doing.
We physically serve everybody. And it's wonderful for them to be able to sit, and you've been around in Ardent's a warm environment that they can watch us, but be able to watch us, and to me, I enjoy it because it's quiet, it's fluent, it's nice.
Yeah.
There isn't flames, there isn't combustion going off, and that kind of, some people enjoy that. I don't, because you're there to enjoy your dining experience, enjoy who you're with, not the loud clittering, clattering, and things that are happening in the background that could be somewhat loud or distracting.
No, it's a soft little ballet.
100%.
And I always loved with Ardent, not so much with ramen or with Laughing Taco.
Those are a little more.
Yeah, those are a little bit more. But
a little more wild.
Well, the chefs serve you.
Yes.
So it's like the person, it's you created it.
Yep.
And so you're bringing it out to the table.
For sure, and I think it builds that trust barrier with your diner, and to be able to do maybe something. We're fortunate enough to go on 5 years now, but when we first opened, there wasn't a whole lot of people that thought what we were doing was going to stick around a whole lot in time. It was just extremely different and new for Milwaukee. It wasn't something they were used to. And for me, I believe that we would have to serve people and talk to people to build that trust barrier, to make them trustworthy and kind of calm down and relax around us. Instead of, everybody worries about the unknown, but if the unknown comes out by the person that makes it for you and describes the dish to you and everything happens to it, then it isn't so bad anymore. It's a little more relaxing. Right.
So how do you decipher between a food trend and a food fad? Because because you're out there, like you bring national chefs into a cooking.
For sure, every month.
Every month, series with you at Ardent, and then you travel a ton.
Yep.
More than I think any chef I know in Milwaukee, except maybe like Paul Bartolotta, travels internationally because that's what he does.
Yep.
But so how do you determine between those two?
I think it's like marketing. It's your fab word for this product to sell the one product, and then once that's over, it's over.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the trend. To me, something that's lasts is something that makes people in our industry think and kind of have discussions. Does this really work? Does that really work? And then talk and support people around it by doing it and educate off of it. And it almost helps evolve. To me, for our example, it's like koji. Koji's a big thing in our world now.
Right.
And at first it was a fad. And then the more people use it, it was legitimate. These are the wonderful qualities it does.
Yeah.
It can produce these flavor profiles. It can come about this way. It is based off of an inexpensive ingredient that we can make this off of, which will help generate our expensive products to be more delicious and meaningful. So I think a lot of those things are what's going to stay. Where a lot of other things, it's kind of like maybe that wonderful bacon wrapped meatloaf isn't going to stick around as long. I don't know,
Well, and in the world of equipment, it always seemed to me, and I'm a little bit like inside outside, but it always seemed to me that the things that people had wanted and cooked with just got improved. It wasn't,
100%.
You see the new gadgets, you're like, well, it's kind of cute, but I'm going to use that once.
For sure.
So why would I spend my money on that?
And there is a lot of gadgets out there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not gonna say too many names, but there's a wonderful man that put this funnel on top of a blowtorch, and you can sear things with it. Doesn't work so well. doesn't work so well.
So the reliability of something.
But then there's other things, and there is even qualities of producers. Like, you know, Vollrath is durable, where we are making. I'm trying to think of how much ramen we go through a week. 160 gallons
of ramen.
Of ramen broth on 2 induction stock pot burners in 1 week.
So they're like the workhorse. I mean,
this is nonstop.
This is the
every single day, 7 days a week.
The typewriter for the newsroom.
100%.
Like I need to be typing
100%.
on the,
You know, and to take, you know, a 55 quart stock pot and go from cold water to boiling and then hold boil. And especially for us, there isn't the 2-hour shut off that a lot of induction burners have. You can set it and it'll stay on overnight because we need to go 30 hours on broth. But then we can set it at just a good enough simmer where it will hold and emulsify and boil the broth that we want to boil.
And just walk away.
But we can walk away and go home at night.
Yeah.
And come back to it and it'll be just fine tomorrow.
Yeah. So there's that wonderful phrase that necessity is the mother of invention.
For sure.
And your restaurant, now 4 times James Beard nominee, Ardent, was a flower shop before you took it over.
It was. Flower shop, and then I believe it was a brief incident of a Turkish coffee shop.
That's right.
I believe. There was a lot of hookahs there when I got there.
And I remember you were doing what I call the Stations of the Cross, when chefs are going out on their own and looking for locations. And we talked a lot, and I was like, oh, that one fell through, and you're an investor in this. And then you found this thing, and I was like, oh, dude.
You're like, what'd you do? What'd you do?
And you're like, it's got a huge walk-in cooler. They used it for flowers.
It's going to be great.
But aside from that, you had to cook in a new way, not necessarily for you, but in a new way for a lot of chefs in America.
100%, for sure.
Yeah, with induction, zero hood.
Yep.
Let's just talk about that.
Well, we went in, and it was, you know, the thought process, and you look at the spaces, it's like, okay, I can get and it was going to be a 5-foot hood. It's like, I can get a 5-foot hood.
Yeah.
Let's get the hood company in, let's look at this. Can we have it, you know, diameter that comes down from the wall, and from the ceilings, and then, you know, it was simple, it was like a 30-minute conversation. And the guy's like, well, basically I'm going to have to go 7 stories up, and I don't know how many walls that I'm going to have to go through. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be way over $150,000. And I looked at it, I was like, don't think I'm getting a hood.
Yeah, it's just...
And then we were ready. How do I go through without a hood? What can I get? And obviously I was familiar with induction, you know, fortunate enough. But then it's like, okay, what kind of wattage do I have to have? What kind of setup do I have to have?
Right.
Burners do I have to have? So we went from literally looking at a hood that was $150,000 to the day we opened up Ardent, we spent $63,000 to open up the whole restaurant.
The whole thing.
Right.
Chairs,
so
floor,
literally
windows,
40
silverware.
some % from base off of what just the hood would have cost me by going the induction route.
Because of the right kitchen stuff.
Yep, for sure. And with the induction, especially of us, and I try to, it's a kind of a joke now, but we do travel a lot and we do a lot of events. And having the setup that we have with an induction to be able to plug it in and move stations, because we will move stations around depending on how we plate things.
Yeah.
Completely makes it that we can literally take the entire Ardent kitchen, whether we do somebody's party at their house or we do a party for a couple hundred people, and literally unplug it, show up at the event, and plug in the exact same kitchen that we have and set up the restaurant somewhere else.
You're like James Beard nominated gypsies.
Yeah, no, it is. You know, it's like we unplug it, we take the whole like the guy can literally take his station on the road with him and plug it in anywhere.
I love it. I don't remember who it was when you first started having the visiting chef dinners, and these were like all the people that you knew in the chef world that were like the food and wine crowd, and they were going to name, they were like right here.
Right.
And then the next year you read about them, but they were right at cusp. And I don't remember who said it, but he cooked in your kitchen, did the dinner, and he was like, this is so freeing.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, there's no extemporaneous anything.
No.
Yeah.
You know, and it's uncomfortable at first because they're like, you know, you're like, how do I do this? And it's like, you show them, and like, oh, this is great. You know what I mean? It's like, it's relaxing. They don't have to worry as much. So
yeah. And it proves, for me, you can still deliver the show, and I mean that in a good way, but I know how much prep you guys do beforehand.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, but then when service hits, there's still, like I said, this soft ballet that customers are privy to. So that it's, you know, people love bistros because they love that click and clatter, the open kitchen, the energy, that kind of thing. Yeah. You have it at Ardent.
We do, and we need the functionality of exactly what you said. We need to be able to have the products that we have rondos of prep because sure, to be able to do what we do, it's 80, 90, 95% prep.
Yeah.
Then we get to service, we're finishing and we're plating, but then we still need to be able to have things that are delicately warmed up and things that can just sit at a set temperature,
right.
And things that can be steamed gently and all this while service is happening. So we have to have the functionality of kind of being the rugged workhorse during the day and then being like very elegant at night.
Yeah, that's perfectly put. That's really well. Yeah, but you live it.
Right.
I just go in and eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Need to more.
I do. Well, I hit it pretty hard your first year.
True.
So I feel like I still have a full punch card.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I did anniversaries, birthdays, and friends visiting, and then television. I did it,
We're good.
Anyway, yeah. So let's talk about how, what the right equipment meant that you could transition essentially a 21st century fine dining restaurant into a rough and tumble casual ramen late night concept before you open your second restaurant.
Right.
So I'll explain.
Stock pots.
Stock pots?
Lots of stock pots. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different size stock pots, boiling and, the mesh pasta strainers, and it's it.
That was it.
Yep. Small little convection oven. And that's literally about it. 4 burners, induction burners.
And a margarita machine.
Yeah. And frozen slushies are the way to go. Do you guys make one of those? Frozen slushie machines?
Yep. They do. So we'll cut maybe we'll keep it.
Yeah.
For those that don't know Justin's concept, when he first opened Ardent, it was, like I said, this updated 21st century experience of fine dining. 33 seats, 36 seats?
23.
23 seats.
23.
Prefix and 2 seatings. And then the restaurant would close. They would cover over the windows. And
with high-tech burlap sacks.
With high-tech burlap sacks. And at 10:30, a red light would come on.
Yeah.
And and they would lock the doors. And the door would become unlocked. And
11:30.
11:30.
Yeah.
And as many people as could fit would come in, and you could have ramen.
Yep.
And you could basically add a few things to it.
Maybe a little bit. It was the epitome of, for lack of a better word, it was like the soup Nazi.
Yeah.
This is a bowl of ramen. These are your beverage choices. That's it.
Tall can of Pabst.
Yep.
Margarita slushy or old-fashioned slushy.
Yep.
And then your versions of ramen.
Yep.
And it was the coolest place to be after 11:30, only on the weekends, but then also the most delicious place.
It was fun.
Yeah, and what I loved about it was that, and I know you did this on purpose, in the service industry, chefs don't have a lot of places to go.
It was 100% why, and we have a wonderful group community in Milwaukee, and it is, and it's not to be bad, but there's some nights where we want to meet each other and hang out and talk, but we don't want to go to the bar. We don't want to go to. Then there wasn't really a lot of late food options outside of fast food, frozen pizza,
right?
Machine or a deep fryer. So we started it by we would just come to Ardent and sit down and
have a
drink beverage. Yeah, have a bowl and drink some beverages and talk, and then pretty soon they'd go back to work and tell the people that they went and did that. And the next week we'd end up having 10 more people, and then 15, and it became a viable business after that.
Well, and what I loved about it was that no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't spend more than $20.
Right.
The bowl of ramen was like $10.50, and then
for sure. Or even if you tried, we wouldn't let you stay that long.
Right.
It's like you gotta go. Like there's a line out the door. Get out.
Yeah.
And it was
unless you're gonna wash dishes.
Yeah, it was. Otherwise, you had to come back in the kitchen and wash dishes.
Yeah.